various issues in my company, balancing the interests of my company's many stakeholders like shareholders, management, customers, financiers, government, and communities giving us a problem. That has to do with corporate governance. Exactly. Then you need to get in touch with ICSAN. ICSAN? Yeah, Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. ICSAN. They provide you with seasoned and top-ranking professionals trained to uphold the standards of corporate governance and efficient operations. You can also get in touch with ICSAN if you want to become a Chartered Secretary and Administrator. Contact ICSAN by visiting the website www.icsan.org or call 009 06 601 69. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
All right, ICSAN, definitely the hub of governance professionals. Welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform, brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I am Funmi Omoburiu. ICSAN is a leading recognized professional body in Nigeria that is dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. And let me also say this, that ICSAN is the only professional body authorized in Nigeria to conduct examinations leading to the qualification of chartered secretaries and administrators. On the program this morning, we want to look at whistleblowing as an important governance mechanism. Whistleblowing as an important governance mechanism. And our guest this morning is Mr. EBERE OKONKWO, FCIS, is former chairman of Abuja branch of ICSAN. He's a legal practitioner and corporate governance practitioner. Good morning, Mr. OKONKWO.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you for
having me.
Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Also here with me is Mr. Michael Omogun, Deputy Registrar Operations, ICSAN. Good morning, Mr. Omogun.
Good morning, Fumi. Good morning, listeners.
All right. As I said earlier, whistleblowing as an important governance mechanism is our focus on the program this morning. Mr. OKONKWO, let me start this way. What is whistleblowing? Mr. OKONKWO. Hello, Mr. OKONKWO. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning once again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. I said, what is whistleblowing?
Your question is, what is whistleblowing?
Yes. Hello, Mr. OKONKWO. Okay, I think I will have to reestablish that connection. Seems some network issues there. In the meantime, Mr. Omogun, let's take some of the announcements you have on the lineup.
Thank you very much, Fumi. Coming up on the 17th March 2022 is the conversation. The conversation is one of our flagship program at the Institute. The program started last year, and we had the former Minister for Trade, Industry and Investment, Dr. Olusegun Aganga, for the program. This year, we are going international, and we'll be having Dr. Kande Umela, who's a Sierra Leonean parliamentarian and a former Director General within the UN system. The topic for this year's conversation is attaining the Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs, in Nigeria by 2030. The role of national, sub-national, private sector, and community leaders. The program is free and is available for access by all members of the public. On the day of the program, commencement will be around 11 a.m. in the morning. Interested members of the public are expected to register for the program. The links are available and accessible on our website. The chair of the occasion, of course, will be our president and chairman in council, Mr. Taiwo Benga Okalade, and the anchor for this year's program will be Dr. Wahid Olagunju, ACIS. Thank you very much for me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Umogon. Mr. Okonkwo, can you hear me? Hello? Okay. I don't know what's happening with the phone lines this morning. Hello, Mr. Okonkwo.
The line is not clear. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can't hear anything from your side.
Wow. Okay. I guess I'll definitely have to try and, of course, reestablish that contact with another line. You know how the networks can be these days. But hey, all right. Let's see. Hope this will pull through with this at this point in time. All right. All right, Mr. Okonkwo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I hear you clearly. Yes.
All right, great. So let's move on quickly. Whistleblowing as an important governance mechanism. So what is whistleblowing?
Yes, I thank you very much for the time. Well, whistleblowing is a mechanism by which internal and external stakeholders of an organization who become aware or see any illegal or unethical action carried out in the company or half of the company can report same to an internal or external authority in a manner that protects them from unsavory consequences. So we identify people within this context as internal and external stakeholders, and also internal and external authority, and then the whistleblower himself, and also unsavory consequences, which usually attaches to people when they make such a report. Culturally speaking, people are afraid of reporting unethical action because sometimes there could be unsavory consequences for doing so. Like we say, see something, say something. The principle is rooted in the importance of reporting and disclosure as a component of the transparency pillar of corporate governance. You would have seen some funny examples of such frameworks with those phone numbers placed on the back of school buses or company vehicles where they say, "How is my driving?" Report, then they put numbers there. Okay. That's just some funny kind of way of describing whistleblowing, but providing an opportunity for feedback, for corporate feedback, for corporate actions. That is what whistleblowing is basically about.
All right. Now let's look at its relevance in the concept of corporate governance. Okay,
so when you consider the key principles and pillars of corporate governance, basically transparency, responsibility, accountability, fairness, and most times reputational risk management, you will see that all of that is geared towards helping the organization to act in a correct and ethically acceptable manner. So to secure the interest of the company in this sustainable manner, whistleblowing is a key component in the assurance or risk management framework of the organization. So what we are saying in effect is that to protect the asset of the company, to ensure that the reputation of the company is not damaged by illegal actions taken within the company or without the company that has implications for the company, whistleblowing is a framework that can be deployed to identify such actions early and take steps to remedy them or to minimize or mitigate their long-term implications for for the company. So yes, whistleblowing is very relevant in corporate governance. It's once you define corporate governance as the way to manage companies or run companies in a sustainable manner, so that the company is here today and also here tomorrow. That's how important whistleblowing is to the concept of corporate governance.
Is it also a useful tool in the public sector?
Well, of course, yes. Whistleblowing, key, very key in any sector at all. Once you understand the concept, that the idea is to mitigate uncertain consequences for the organization because of illegal actions or unethical actions that are carried out within the organization, whether they be public or private sector. You then see the importance of whistleblowing. If you remember the concept of Savicom that was introduced by the federal government sometime in the past, by nature, Savicom was actually a whistleblowing mechanism, an opportunity for people to provide feedback with respect to service delivery. But as usual, there has been no zest with the federal government to pursue that through and to ensure that the system is a system built framework rather than an idea of one administration. So yes, whistleblowing is more than Savicom. It is an anti-corruption tool that will keep people on the right path. It could easily become a racket, and what happens in the public sector is that whistleblowing could be abused also. So in the public sector, you saw when the public sector tried to incentivize whistleblowing to say, okay, if you do whistleblowing, you could get a part you could get a reward, a financial reward. The public sector has tried it, and we have also seen some pros and the cons. But ultimately, whistleblowing is an idea that could be deployed in the public sector or the private sector. Once the frameworks are properly aligned, it will deliver benefits to any organization, whether they are in the public sector or in the private sector.
All right. Can you highlight for us some positive development that having an effective legal framework on whistleblowing will bring to the country? Hello, Mr. Okonkwo.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, wow. Okay, I guess the network issue there. Mr. Okonkwo, are you there?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, talking about positive development. As we quickly wrap up, positive development, having an effective legal framework on whistleblowing will bring into the country. Maybe just a few.
Okay. Just to underscore the idea, once you remember that corporate failures really happen in an environment where nobody speaks out when they see something wrong. Anyone who has had anything to do with corporate governance will remember the WorldCom, the corporate failures in the West. We could also remember the corporate failures that have happened right here in Nigeria, the Cadbury challenges that we have seen. So once there is an effective whistleblowing framework, the organization benefits, and generally also because we have a cultural system that supports opacity. It is so pervasive that even we had to enact a law that is called Freedom of Information Act. And the whole idea is to institute a system of transparency, a system of transparency and free flow of information. There is a saying that the sun is the greatest disinfectant. Anything that is open, when you want to have a wound healed, you have to open the wound. So transparency is at the center of whistleblowing, you know. So and nobody disputes the benefits of transparency for a country. For instance, when people know that their actions will be seen in public, then they will be careful to act in an ethical manner. If you know that you are being watched, then you know, and it's not just that you are being watched, but that your actions will be reported, then most people will comport themselves and behave in a better manner. One CEO of a company in the UK said, I don't worry about ethics. I just ask myself what my mother would think if she read about this in the press about me. So,
all right. All right.
Very important.
All right. Thank you so much. That's how far we can go this morning. Mr. EBERE OKONKWO, FCIS, former chairman, Abuja branch of ICSAN. He's a legal practitioner, a corporate governance practitioner. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. All right, and we sincerely, of course, apologize for, the way the network has been this morning. I also have to thank Mr. Michael Omogun, Deputy Registrar Operations. Thank you for being here. That's our bit this morning on Corporate Governance Platform, brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. We'll return again next week, Wednesday, 10:15 a.m. I am Funmi Omoburiu. Enjoy the rest of the day.